So this is what's crazy, and the reason I wanted to have you on, you're a sophomore this year.
Yeah, going into sophomore year.
Right? And as a freshman, you started as varsity wide receiver.
Yeah.
And is your goal to stay wide receiver, maybe become tight end? What do you think is going to happen there? Do you know yet?
As in
position.
Oh yeah, so they'll mix me in at slot and tight end, so I'll have my hand down a little bit. They'll also have me at H-back, blocking a little bit too. And
okay.
So yeah, I'll be doing both.
Good deal.
Yeah.
So how crazy is that? Sophomore, sitting in Nick Saban's office and looking at 24, 25, 26 college offers right now already?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. Okay, so you guys got to talk about how you're managing all this, how all this came to be.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, before we get into that, let's talk about, because there's a long process to get to this point.
Big time.
It's not like it was just you were born this way, and so you got this special talent, and just it showed up easy, I'm sure. Am I right in assuming that?
Yeah,
you worked hard?
Yeah.
He is a hard worker, but he does definitely have some natural gifts.
Yep.
But yeah, there's not many kids that work harder than him.
That's awesome.
So
how long have you been playing ball?
Since the second grade.
Okay.
I played up with my brother they call it 3-4, third and fourth graders, and I played up with them. So,
okay. And have you always been playing wide receiver?
No, actually, I was a linebacker and fullback.
Okay.
So yeah,
it's like middle linebacker and fullback.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Have you always been tall?
I've always been a little taller, but not significantly. I kind of just sprouted 8th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So a year ago or 2 years ago,
Yeah.
you just sprouted up one summer.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. That's what happened to me. I was super short. I was 5'3", 5'4", and then one summer I went from 5'4" to 6'1".
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
that's a lot of growth.
I know. Everybody called me Little Jeff until one summer. That wasn't so
all
little.
at once, huh?
Yeah.
Nothing, and boom.
Yeah, crazy. So you just grew quite a bit. Were you sleeping a lot that summer?
I always sleep, to be
Yeah?
honest. I'm a big sleeper.
Yeah. Seems like when you're growing a lot, that's what happens.
Yeah, I think that's pretty normal. I remember always being tired as a teenager. You're usually up late and messing around a lot too, but you also need that extra sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Takes energy to grow.
So how did you get the desire to play football?
Probably my brother. I just wanted to play with him.
Okay.
So, just watching him play, and then I got pretty good, I guess, and I was always one of the top players on my team, and so I stuck with it and fell in love with it.
Has it always been football?
So I played everything. I did wrestling, baseball, basketball, and then football. Yeah.
What is your favorite? Is football your favorite?
Yeah,
it is.
football is always my favorite.
Yeah. Good deal. Did you play football too, Todd?
I did, but I focused on baseball after my 9th grade year. My 10th grade year, actually, I went and got a job. Mm-hmm. We were pretty broke as growing up.
Where did you grow up?
In Vancouver, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got a job at Taco Bell at first, and I had to walk about 2.5 miles to work and 2.5 miles back. And then I got a coach. His name was Tom, and he had played at Texas A&M, and he just knew he was a great pitching coach. And but it cost money, and so an opening came up at Burger King, and Burger King was only a mile from my house, and so I walked a mile to work, and that's how I paid for my pitching lessons. And I just quit everything. I knew I was. So I didn't like him. He everybody tells him he's going to go places, and I didn't have that. I was a good pitcher, but I didn't throw hard.
Okay.
Like he's 225? Yeah, 225. I was 187 as a senior, so super skinny.
Yeah.
But I was a really good pitcher. I just couldn't throw hard.
Okay.
I was pretty weak. Mm-hmm. And then I got strong, and that's when things started happening for me. But for him, it was way sooner.
Okay.
The pages are way earlier in the book for him.
Do you feel like going through that process help you maybe put some effort into Brock and knowing kind of how to help him navigate his, different areas for? Yeah,
he has a brother that's 2 years older than him, and I focus a lot with him on baseball. And he was a good pitcher. We moved down here 2 years ago, and he just did feel like he fit in.
Yeah.
Had some issues with coaches, and so he kind of walked away. But he came to me, what was it, summer of 8th grade, in between 8th and 9th grade, and he was like, I want to be a receiver. And I was like, you are out of your mind. You've never played receiver. I don't think you may have caught like 2 passes your whole life at that time. And then he shows me videos of him catching one-handed passes, and I'm like, all right. And then he just lit it up.
That's awesome.
And so
What gave you that desire to all of a sudden want to play receiver?
I don't even know, to be honest. In Oregon, we lived in Oregon. Like we moved here 2 years ago, and our season got canceled because of COVID. And then I feel like that break, I don't know. I just wanted to try something new, I guess. And moving here, I just wanted to, wanted to try something new.
Awesome.
I always had visions of him being a defensive end and just killing quarterbacks. And he still has the body for it.
Sure, absolutely. You moved here has it been 2 years now?
2 years ago, August 1st.
So when you were up in Washington or Oregon, where were you?
Well, we were living in Portland, Oregon before we came here.
Okay, Portland.
I grew up in Vancouver, Washington.
Okay, so that's right. So in Portland, did everyone kind of already know you were pretty special as far as a player? I mean, before.
Those that didn't know, like one of my good friends, Jared Levitt, his son plays for the Green Bay Packers, and his other son plays for Michigan State. And he played at BYU. Just a phenomenal family as far as athletics goes. And he's always been like, yeah, Brock's the dude. And so, and he still does. He still sends me messages.
Yeah.
That kid's a beast.
So was that a concern moving from Portland to here as far as with his potential future, or were you going, now he'll be good?
Not at all.
All right.
We knew, I knew that the school that he was in, because of demographics and the families that were moving into that area where we lived in, weren't football players.
Okay.
They're more science and
didn't have the right eyeballs on you.
Yeah.
As much as here. Maybe.
It was just a school that was just, in fact, just last year they lost their head coach. They lost all their coaches. Players transferred out.
It's happening to a lot of schools throughout the nation, right? A lot of schools are
I think
money from sports.
There's some freedom, I think, for if there's a good program and you want to go to it. And I had a buddy of mine from college that lived down here, and it actually ended up coaching him his 8th grade year. And we just kind of fell in love with Coach Hosner over at Pine View. If you don't know who he is, he's a legend in football. And he totally loves Brock as well.
Awesome.
So it was just a great fit.
Yeah.
Great fit to come here.
So you feel like having a coach you really vibe with has helped you in sports as well?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Him and Coach Shaw have
Awesome.
been there for like 20, 30 years or something. And they're just super cool. And basically legends, as he said, at Pineview.
So we were talking kind of about coaching a minute ago about hard coaches or coaches maybe that aren't so hard-nosed coaches. Are they hard-nosed coaches like that? Do they push you pretty hard or?
At times when need be, I think. But Coach Hosner's kind of laid back a little bit now, but Coach Shaw, he'll get on me every once in a while, but sometimes he doesn't.
How do you respond when he does?
I think it helps me, to be honest, but sometimes I also don't. It doesn't help me sometimes, and I get in my head, but sometimes it kind of gets me angry and makes me play better. But
yeah, so you're one of those. If they back you into a corner, you tend to play better.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah. That's awesome.
So your dad's here, so he can make sure that you're answering all these questions honestly. I'm sure you'd answer them honestly anyway. But are you a pretty good student? Pretty good student. That's good. And how does sports help you in all those areas of your life? Obviously you've got your world-class high school football player right now. You're world-class. You're better than most, right? Mm-hmm. How does that spill over? And your dad can comment on this too. I'd like to hear his thoughts on that as he watches you.
It's like school-wise, I guess. It helps, like teachers. I guess I get a relationship. Sometimes teachers like to connect in football, like sports ways, and I can kind of get a little relationship with them. And any other ways. I don't know.
There's probably a level of respect there because they see you're a hard worker.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
You're a leader. You're an influencer. People probably, I would imagine, other students look up to you quite a bit because of what you're doing. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty good platform you have.
Yeah.